I found out this tank got a little stained. It's a little pink. I guess I've come to realize that I watch a lot of reality TV right now. So to start, I am Caitlin. I think this week's episode is what represents E the most. I think everyone wished that the Kim and Chloe parts were even longer, even though it was like almost half of the episode. But then we forget that Caitlin really wants her documentary to be really educational, so. And then if you watch, I think Chloe just doesn't like losing an argument. Because how wrong is Caitlin really? It's so hard acknowledging that Bruce is Caitlin now because growing up watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians that I keep referring to her as Bruce. But I'm really glad that she chose not to like surgically alter her voice. It's kind of like she's Cher now. I didn't get to see a preview for next week's episode, so I'm just hoping it's like a Kendall related one because she's like the only daughter that hasn't really shown up yet. And then on Project Runway, I'm so glad Han Miao went home. It's like she never offered a compromise. She just kept saying that it's not her aesthetic. And then she never like even, it's like, why are you complaining so much if you don't even have a vision for what a non-fitted Caribbean outfit would look like? But on a random note, go Ashley. And then on America's Next Top Model, I'm so glad Stefano didn't go home. Before Bello or Devin, I'm just hoping Bello or Devin are the first of the guys to go home, and it will be like an actual competition for guys. And where the David Gandys at? And then the last TV show I'll discuss is Devious Maids, even though I watched Candidly Nicole. It's funny, but I don't really have much to talk about. But you should watch it anyways. It's about like high school, and you know, like high school is so lame. Well, anyways, for Devious Maids, I felt so sad for Evelyn. It's like she's like a villain in the show, but she was so human in that episode. I just wanted to like cry with her, even though I didn't, but I felt so sad and like heartbroken. And Rosie is such a like moral, good person. Damn this show. I can't wait until the mystery unfolds in the next episode, which is the finale. And I won't talk about Devious Maids anymore, so I guess if you hate that show, congratulations. Moving on to comic books, I read Silk number 6. What keeps me reading this comic is basically her background. As an Asian American, I want to see how accurate she's depicted, or who or what or how they got her story from. And just like how relatable it is to an actual Asian American, or more specifically a Korean American, even though I'm not one. But yeah, like every issue you'll see a vision of her past and then her current situation. So it's like we get a glimpse of her past or like how she grew up, and then it gets forwarded into the present, and then we see all the fighting. So in this issue we pick up from the last issue, which is like a cliffhanger, and Cindy just has the worst luck. So even though the guy who like kidnapped her knew some stuff about her family, he ends up dying, and then Cindy cuts her hair because she was gonna get her ass beat. I guess what we really need right now is another like Johnny Storm date for her, but yeah, we'll see how the next issue goes. And then in X-Men 92, issue number 7, what really stuck out for me the most is this one scene with Wolverine. And that scene really made me chuckle, so hopefully this preview makes you chuckle as well. I also love how in control Jean Grey is of the Phoenix Force. Because if you watch the cartoon, it only like drives her mad, so this is another like nice change. I'm also a big like Jean Grey fan, if you don't know. And then in Uncanny X-Men, I finished up to issue number 15. And if you're a person who likes to look for LGBT characters in media or books, then you'll see that Morph, we find out, is one. But his powers aren't really like exciting as compared to like Bobby Drake. Or all new Bobby Drake? Past Bobby Drake? I talked about this in one of my older dongs. But I think in issue 14, that whole issue is basically dedicated to how Morph's powers are understood and how he comes out to Emma Frost, which is his professor. Thus far, my favorite issue would be the 15th one. It's basically about a girls' night out, and then it also crosses with Inhumans. But what I like about this issue the most is basically that we see the less like scary side of Emma and her more like human side. Well, to end, I finally watched Age of Ultron, and here's my quick opinion of it. First off, that pairing between Hulk and Natasha. Why? Why? The only person Natasha belongs with is Bucky, because they both have horrible experiences in Russia, and maybe Clint, but then we see in Age of Ultron Clint has a family, so that rules him out. Plus, if you compare like comic Clint to Age of Ultron or the movie Marvel Studios Clint, I would rather not them being paired together, because I feel like comic Clint is so much hotter. Aside from the fact that Pietro and Wanda were whitewashed and how their mutant past was basically erased, I thought their portrayal was okay. I mean, I was more astounded by how sharp Clint was when it came to dealing with them. And then I like how Tony Stark was the creator of Ultron, because he took on Tony's personality. So he was more funny and witty than what I was expecting. Because judging from the trailer, I was expecting a more like dark, grim, really evil villain, more alongside the personality of Thanos, which wasn't the case. So I thought it would make the movie more like lighthearted. While like the Earth's gonna be destroyed possibly, and then it didn't happen. And then coming from a person who really loves Captain America 2, I made a video about it. I like basically fangirled through the whole thing. I continue to really like the fight scenes, and I thought they were really well executed. Initially, I thought the fight scenes or action scenes were very fake looking, but then as the movie progressed and got more dynamic and how the cameras were working, I thought it was very well executed. So coming from a person who really liked the Winter Soldier movie, I thought the scenes with Natasha and Cap were up there. But in this one is more CGI, so it's obviously more complicated when it comes to like the authenticity of it. But I liked the movie anyways. I really thought it was worth watching. It had a budget of like $250 million, so it has to be good, otherwise they wouldn't make their money back, you know? Well, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna stretch and stuff and go to this farther gym, so I'm trying to hurry. Don't forget to follow me on my other social media platforms, and then I'll see you next week.